From Raver Gen Con through Instagram. Hey lady, any tips, hacks, tricks, or apps to help make your white backgrounds pop in photos? I'm on the case. White backgrounds. They are fickle little devils, aren't they? You take a photo on a white background, you have it well lit, everything looks great, then you look at the photo that you just took and the background is gray or yellowy or anything but bright white. So how do you fix this? The trick is a little bit about the shoot and a lot of bit about the edit. And because you ravers are always on the go, I'm gonna show you the whole workflow, start to finish, using just a mobile device and apps. Drop it! Shoot. Place your product on a solid, bright white background with evenly distributed indirect light surrounding it. Two setups that I use are the DIY setup and the Amazon Portable Photo Studio. And you can watch the full breakdown of these setups by clicking the links in the description. Next, you need to make sure that everything is exposed properly, if not a bit underexposed. If you overexpose your shot before the edit, you have no wiggle room for any brightening later on. Then let's snap the shot. Edit. Basic tip. Pick whichever is your favorite photo editing app. Snapseed, VSCO, Moldive. I'll use Snapseed for this tutorial, but they all have the same features we will be using here. Once you're in Snapseed, choose your photo. Let's first change the white balance by going into Tools and choosing, you guessed it, white balance. You can eyeball it or choose this auto option on the bottom. Looks good. Next, go into Tools, choose Tune Image, and choose these little scales on the bottom. We will be working with brightness, contrast, highlights, and shadows. First, let's pump up that brightness, being sure not to overexpose the product. Next, add a little contrast. Let's play with the highlights just a bit. Sometimes this is useful, sometimes it's not. Next, I like to darken the shadows just a touch to add depth. Looks pretty good. Now save it by hitting Export, and you're good to go. Pro tip: download Adobe's Lightroom CC. This is my favorite photo editing app for a lot of reasons, but the one I will highlight is this selective feature. You can use your finger, but I also use a stylus. Click selective, then the plus sign. You want this top option. Go ahead and choose the size of the point by holding down on this first option and then scrolling up and down. This one looks good. Now we are going to color. Big note here. You want to try to do all of this in one rip without lifting the stylus. Once you lift the stylus off the phone, you've created a selective feature for just that section you highlighted. So we want to do this entire white background. So start coloring. Don't lift up your pen. You'll notice the red mark gets a little darker if you go over the same spot a few times. The darker the red, the more effective the feature you're changing. So let's color this in, being careful not to color the product. Okay, that looks good. Now go down to light and let's pump up that exposure. Look at that. Cut it out. This is the method you use for product shots on your website, etc., where you need a stark all-white background. You could use Photoshop, but I'm teaching you mobile apps today, so here's two good ones. The first is Knockout, where you go in, click Cut Out, choose your picture, choose the size, hit Magic, and then do a super rough outline of the product. You don't need to be exact here. The app cleans it up for you. Now let's save it as a PNG. Open Moldive. I have just a plain white background saved here, so choose that. Let's make it square for Instagram. Scroll all the way over here to double exposure. Then import the PNG we just exported from Knockout. And you won't see it on here, you have to change the composite mode down here. So choose darken. There we go, there it is. And now scale it down to size. Boom. Now I want you to notice something here. See how the edges are not perfectly clean? I haven't found a way to make them perfect in the Knockout app, but if you want to get fancy, spend $3.99 on the app Exacto. This is more like Photoshop, where you set up all the points on your product and then cut it out from there. It is super time consuming, but it will give you the cleanest cutout of your product. Whoa, I just threw a lot at you. Let's look at all these photos side by side so you can see the style differences. So which method speaks to you? Hit me up with any questions or comments down below. And I want to give a special shout out to Jen Kahn of Scenery Bags. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but basically they are making bags from retired Broadway backdrops. So genius, and part of the proceeds of their bags go to taking underprivileged kids to go see theater. So cool. If you guys want to hear more about Scenery Bags, I've left the link down in the description. You ravers are so inspiring and creative. You inspire me every day. Thank you so much for watching. Stay creative, like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you guys Tuesday.